I was in the call center space. I was one of the sales managers for a company called Mobile Help, and pretty much it was a medical equipment company that dealt with the I've fallen and I can't get up button. I always had trouble staying at call centers for more than 6 months because the product or service wasn't as reputable as it was presented, or I just got burned out. Pay wasn't good. The company would go under, or I just hit an income ceiling and grow out of it. I had my sales job mastered so well. I was training other people, taking new hires, so I had a lot of time off the phones, and I didn't have the floor manager cracking the whip, so to speak. So I had a little bit of freedom to, in between calls, hop on my computer, and I was building landing pages right from my computer. You had cubicles, so anytime a floor manager would walk by, I just, close the tab and go back to the dialer and smile and dial. But, I was utilizing every spare second of my time and using all of that kind of negative momentum and, transmitting it to, just getting as many lead gen sites up as possible. And then by the 365th day, unbeknownst to me, I had sent an email to the, to the higher ups, letting them know I wanted to resign. And simultaneously, they had fired an email back to me, not knowing that I just sent an email, and it was like congratulating me on my 365th day, and they were going to bring me a cake. And here I am telling them I'm putting in my 2 weeks. There's definitely a level of uncertainty there, and I had taken that final step to kind of walk away from everything. But I also knew that it's something that I was really passionate about, and I was always looking for, because of my experience in the call center world and having to knock on doors and cold call and sell, half-bunk products, I knew that I finally had found something where we were creating a digital asset out of thin air, and it was adding massive value to the people that I was reaching out to. So that there in itself kind of gave me the confidence to kind of walk through the fire and not look left, not look right, not look behind me. I got into it. I built my first revenue center in towing. It took off within like 4 or 5 weeks, and I knew it worked when I got a call from the side of the road that, someone was broken down and they were seeking a tow truck. Oh, man, that was one of the best feelings in the world, getting mailbox money, as I like to call it. And I'd been pointing, I couldn't get my towing sites sold to anybody reputable because you and I both know that the towing industry is dealing with a very very unique set of business owners that may not be the most savory business owners to work for. But I ended up finding a really cool guy over here in Boca, and I kind of, was doing the sneak attack and sending him leads without him knowing who I was. And, I ended up going in there on the 30th day, and I shook his hand, and he cut me a check. And it was right then and there that I realized this is the type of relationship that I want to forge with business owners, where they respect me before I even walk in. There's no sales pitch needed. I've already shown results up front. Here I am to collect, and he was totally cool with it. And he told me, listen, when you first called me and told me that you were going to send leads over to me, he stated to me that he didn't think he was going to work at all. And, he shook my hand when he handed me the check, and he said, hey, listen, man, I totally take back what I said. This is working. And now, because of us being in a time of crises, I should say, he's actually called me back up and said, hey, your listing is the only thing that's holding us above water right now. Our call volume has dropped in half, and your calls are still cranking. So is there any way that you could get a second, third, and fourth location up for us? A couple of years, down the road, I'd made some money. I pulled myself out of Mobile Help and reached ramen noodle profitability, and I was making my own way, but I didn't have that, really big, consistent spike that, took me to the next level. Until about, I would say, probably back in November, right before the COVID crisis. And then I was approached by a buddy of mine that had some money to invest, and he kind of saw what I was doing and realized that it's a lot less risky and a lot more scalable what I was doing, and you didn't have to sit on your money for 18 to 24 months. And I pretty much presented it to him the same way that Dan does, as far as it being, like becoming a digital landlord, so to speak. So he had been running a tutoring company that successfully was doing about $140,000 with one man, but he was driving across like 3 counties and, trying to book, 50, 60 billable hours a week. So we took that concept and we built a tutoring site for him in Parkland probably about 2 years ago, and he made some great revenues off of it. So when all of his money came back, we really put in a nice order. I took the model and I kind of took it into my own hands. only thing that's external is, our done-for-you team, which is you guys. We got a couple of content writers and, backlinkers and stuff like that, but it's our company. And now we have probably about 25 locations in Florida, and we're one of the most premier private in-home tutoring companies, and we've done well over $100,000 in revenue just this month alone, just from 2 contracts that we've gotten. We're on track to do well over $300,000 by the end of the year. And, we've even been contacted by Channel 5, WPTV, Arthur Mundale. They did a story on us. They labeled us as an essential business. And now we have an army of educators of, I would say, 130 tutors from Tallahassee all the way down to Sunny Isles, Miami. So it's been really amazing, the growth that we've had with that. And, really, really happy to share my success story with anybody in the group. We've been through a lot of challenges with COVID, and a lot of things have happened with updates and all that stuff, but lo and behold, our websites have still been holding strong. We've been pulling in leads organically still. I just kept getting good results. There was never a lead gen site that I didn't do that wasn't successful. I was always producing leads across different markets. So, my confidence built up more and more as the months went on. Of course, I went through my hurdles and took longer than I would have expected. But it was definitely worth the perseverance and not fizzling out the last 3 or 4 years that I've been working at it.
Hey JK fam, thanks for watching this video. Amir Talebzadeh with tutorswhocare.org, and I just wanted to hop on real quick if you saw the quick animation and introduce myself and share my success story. So in a nutshell, if you just joined JK and you're having trepidations about getting ahead, just keep in mind that it took me several years to finally hit that peak where I started to see some real results. So the best advice that I could give you is if you hit a plateau, don't ever give up, don't ever get caught in your own thinking, and keep trying new things and keep innovating and find what you're passionate about. And I know that they say put your profits before your passions, but you want to have a good balance of both. And when you do that, amazing things will happen. So I look forward to seeing you in the training, and thanks for watching.